Chicago may be known for hot dogs and Polish sausages, but its Italian-American roots cannot be ignored. Now, New York and New Jersey might get the spotlight when it comes to Italian sub sandwiches, but this city has some serious contenders. So what we're gonna do today is travel around Chicago to show you some of the mom and pop shops making some of the best sub sandwiches you can find in the United States. And joining us on this media adventure is a very, very special guest, somebody who knows Chicago sandwich landscape better than anyone I know. What up?
Oh, man. How we doing?
Ready to eat some sandos?
Ready to get subbed out.
Subbed out and subbed up.
Let's go.
Okay, so Joseph DiPofi is a 20-something fifth-generation operator of Pompeii Restaurant, which actually first opened its doors in 1909 in what is now the heart of Little Italy on Chicago's west side. Basically, after an unexpected injury playing lacrosse led him to leave college, Joseph made the choice to return home and dive into helping the family biz. Now, Pompeii isn't just a restaurant, it's a touchstone. It's one of those rare, beloved spots that's kind of woven into the fabric of the city, where everyone from local cops to finance bros to college kids find themselves at home. You know, plates piled high with Italian comfort food. Sometimes Chicago is referred to as a big, small city, right? It's a sprawling metropolis, but you can still unexpectedly bump into a neighborhood guy on a busy street like on a Tuesday. And this guy is a testament to that idea. He carries a deep understanding of the city's Italian families in the hospitality industry, their histories, their specialties, and their perspectives. He knows where to find the best sub sandwiches and is full of stories that connect past to present, which makes him the perfect partner for our chewy adventure today.
When somebody comes to my sandwich shop for the first time, I say get the Italian. If you can't get the Italian right, there's nothing on that menu to come back for. My thing is always, the best sandwich is the one that's like the closest that you live to, the closest that you work to. Support those mom and pops around you, but I'm gonna make you a knockout one. That's for sure. That's for sure. So we slice ours upside down. Everything starts with beautiful D'Amato's bread, best in the city, nothing like it for an Italian sandwich. So we open that up, olive oil, both sides of the bread, tomato straight down the center, red wine vinegar, and we mix it with dry oregano, red wine vinegar before it gets onto the sandwich. So classic hot giardiniera. This is the Chicago condiment. It's a mix of peppers, vegetables, pickled, and this is like as classic Chicago as you get. Italian sandwich, hot giardiniera. Doesn't get more classic. First bite, you gotta set them up for the corner shot, right? And then we wrap these up, classic butcher paper here, and you're good to go. That's the JP Graziano sandwich. Right. Italian hot, classic as it comes.
Stop number one. I don't know if there's a better place that we could have started this whole thing than this.
I don't think so either. I mean, historic Chicago family, and we're on Randolph Street. We're in the meatpacking district.
Yes, sir.
Once was the meatpacking district.
And now there's a Nobu.
Now there's a Nobu right there. But that's you know, it's to say what goes on with the story of a lot of tradition and family businesses. Times change and you gotta evolve, so here we are.
Basically today we're gonna be ordering the Italian sub from each spot that we go to today to kind of keep the playing field level, because we want to see what their expression of a classic Italian sub is.
Delicious.
When I wanted to make this video, I was kind of thinking like, what real variation do we have in Italian subs? Like, how different are they? Imported meats, good bread, blah, blah, blah. I think as we'll see today, there are changes. There's a lot of differences in small things that tweak the flavor in a big way and the experience in a big way.
Like the biggest thing to me, I mean, all right, sandwich, bread, meat, cheese. But when you go to an Italian sub, what meat are you choosing? Here we got the mortadella, 2 salamis, and gabagool. A lot of those are staples, but you might not see all of those on one sub. You might see 1 or 2 of them, you know, in some different interpretations or, you know, something that they're changing. This is a really good combination right here.
Historic, West Loop, Chicago, family-owned Italian-American business.
Thereh layers of flavor and layers of tradition in this bite, baby.
Wow, that was poetic, bro. I don't know if I can handle that.
Joe the poet.
Joe the poet. double wrap. Stop 2, Publican quality meats. Not only one of the best butchers in the city, but one of the best sandwich shops as well. We actually have a special guest here. Rob, he's the butcher. He's also the man.
I mean, when you're down the street from Graziano's, you don't want to try and impede on their territory. So we want to do our version. We're lucky we have a bakery we work with. So I reached out to Greg Wade, James Beard Award-winning baker, and said,
friend of the channel, by the way.
Friend of the channel. Said I want a sub roll that we can do an Italian sub on. We can also do hot. We do our chicken parm on there. We've done Italian beefs on there, and it's a really great, very unique bread. It's not typical sub bread. We do a sub sauce, but we also do what we call an artichoke tapenade. So it's marinated artichokes and sun-dried tomatoes and capers and parsley and lots of olive oil. And we kind of grind all that up and smear it on there to give it like a slightly more vegetal, kind of sweet balance to it. And then instead of shredded lettuce, we go with shredded escarole, just to be different, and a little red onion, and then we dress that with more of that sub sauce. Every step of the way, it's just a little bit different than the classics.
The bread, right off the bat.
Like, it speaks Italian sub,
yeah,
but it's not just another Italian sub.
Not at all. This is extremely unique. The spread, it's sweet, and I don't like sweet things very much. I gotta say, it's like the perfect balance, and it really like kind of like adds to the sandwich and like complements the more savory deli meats and the cheese and everything like that.
You get the nuttiness, right, like originally off the bat with the sesame, the toasted sesame, but the sweetness from that tapenade, and you get a little brininess from the artichoke, so you have that like oil vinegar vibe, and then the sweetness, kind of like a red wine vinegar.
Well with the onion, dude.
Yep,
the onion is like
a little bitter.
100%.
Yeah. This is, I think, more of an expression of a chef-driven version of an Italian sub, right? Here in the city, there's so much talent, like you said. Yeah. You don't want to do the same thing that all these places that have been open since the 30s have been doing. Yeah. They do that well. So you've kind of like made this name for yourself by working with what you guys do best, which is like the incredible butchery and all the homemade meats with the bread, and like it's special, man. You know.
This is really, and like you said, Rob, you do hit every note of an Italian sub.
Right on. Well, thank you, sir.
Yep.
On to the next one. You guys need a sandwich in here?
I got some.
What's the order?
I got an Italian.
A while back.
A little while back?
Yeah, a while back.
Italian sub, what do we got?
That's the Italian there. It's pretty good.
We're making a YouTube video about sandwiches.
Oh, are you?
Figured we'd come talk to the people, see what's good.
No, they got good sandwiches in there. They got some good decent sandwiches in there. They use tomatoes.
Tomatoes, yeah, right. Tomatoes make their own giardiniera.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Hi, how can I help you?
Hey.
How are you doing?
Good.
So we're gonna get the Italian.
Yeah, please, we'll do a 9, please.
And it comes, honey, all the meats, provolone, lettuce, tomato, oil, oregano, chef's homemade vinaigrette, any giardiniera.
Yes, please.
Let's do it.
Mild or hot?
Do you guys happen to make your giardiniera, or do you bring it in?
We have make it, yeah.
You make it. There we go.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
so much.
Nice
Take care.
meeting
We'll
all
see you
of
around. Yeah, I'll be back around.
Who's next? Hello, sweetie.
I got Italian, I got the vinegar and the oil all over the place.
Chicago baptism.
Stop 3, Vinnie's Sub Shop. Right off the bat, a lighter, less dense, skinnier, more delicate sandwich.
100%. Not in a bad way.
And it's really easy to bite, super tender. I don't know what bread they use.
They're using D'Amato's bread, actually. So it's the same bread as Graziano's. It's just a delicious sandwich.
For sure. I would not be bummed, and you could see that darker balsamic on there too.
Yeah. Not soggy giardiniera.
No.
No offense, you could have all the flavor in the world, but if I have soggy giardiniera, why am I eating it, truthfully? You're jarring it pickled.
Yeah.
If you're pickling anything, it should have crunch.
Just to define it for the people, giardiniera is the Chicago-style hot Italian pickled peppers that are stored in olive oil. It's a unique condiment to the city, but it also is kind of what makes Italian subs here in Chicago kind of unique in the scheme.
100%. It's synonymous with sandwiches, whether it's an Italian-style deli sandwich, or an Italian beef, or a sausage sandwich.
Or pizza, or anything.
Anything.
Dude,
now.
I'll put some under my pillow for good luck sometimes.
Seriously. We're on Grand Avenue. This sandwich is from Vinnie's, right? Well, a few blocks down, you got D'Amato's and you got Bari, but Grand Avenue is almost like a parallel to Taylor Street in Little Italy. There's a lot of Italians that have lived here for a very long time. Not just sub shops, you got Italian restaurants.
Funeral home.
Yep,
you got the hardware store.
You gotta always have a funeral home, and you always gotta have a hammer guy. So Vinnie, smart guy, he's got a sub shop.
Vinnie's got the hammer.
And he's got the hardware right next door. So he's doing something, people.
All right, cool, man. Well, Vinnie's, that's a wrap. I think we got some 2 iconic spots to hit up.
We do.
Okay.
With some beef in between.
Ooh, stay tuned. Stop 4, not D'Amato's, D'Amato's.
So my grandparents, when they came from Italy, it was 1970, and my dad is the owner, and I run the store for him. They only had bread in here. and pizza when they bought the business. And then they expanded it. They made the focaccia, we brought in the cookies, and now we do the sandwiches.
The focaccia?
Focaccia.
Okay, okay.
Focaccia is
okay.
But we're Bari, so we cut everything in half. So it's focaccia. And even all the customers know it's focaccia.
Focaccia.
Yes.
Okay, good to know. If you come here, you say focaccia.
Tomatoes focaccia is a staple for me growing up. Sunday dinner, somebody had to stop on Grand Avenue to have tomatoes focaccia on the table. If we didn't, I definitely was upset. My little brother probably wouldn't even eat.
And so you supply bread to a lot of spots around here?
Yes, Graziano's, Vinnie's down the block.
We were just at Vinnie's.
Oh, Vinnie's,
yeah,
Darlene, she's so cute. Across the street is where we bake all the bread for the restaurants, the stores. Those are all gas ovens.
Got it, okay.
We still use a coal fire oven.
Okay,
yes.
But to get the coal fire.
Yes, the coal is here. The oven is from 1912.
Oh.
And our hot giardiniera is from Graziano's.
Oh, baby.
So it's like, you know, Graziano's uses the bread. We use the hot giardiniera, so, you know.
It's kind of like a family. Everyone's using their own
But it still doesn't matter. You can use the same olive oil. You can use, it is just how you're making it. Like, I don't know what it is, but it always tastes different, right? Wherever you go.
100%.
Something different. So you see.
I'm excited. I'm excited to try
let's
it.
do it.
Spot 4, tomatoes. Oh yeah, that's always a good sign. We call that the Italian window.
Ooh, I love that. Little see-through sub.
Oh my.
Money shot.
Look at that. This thing is more substantial than Vinnie's for sure.
For sure.
More meat. The meat is sliced very thin on this, which I like.
I agree. I like very thin sliced lunch meat.
Yeah, totally.
As thin as you can get it. I don't know why.
Stack it high. Stack it high, please.
It could be that thick. Yeah. I'm not
Yeah.
saying not thick.
Yeah.
One thing you don't see here compared to Vinnie's is there was that balsamic vinegar on Vinnie's.
Right,
that was the first sub with the balsamic
gonna say
vinegar. That's controversial in the sub world.
Sure.
Is it red wine vinegar or balsamic?
Is this French bread or Italian bread?
So they coined the term French Italian bread.
Yeah.
It has that chew and fluff of the Italian, but it has that light crisp exterior. Like a French baguette.
You don't want a bloody roof of your mouth.
No.
You want it soft, but you want it substantial enough to have a little bit of chew, lightness and crunch.
Right.
But it needs to be able to hold up to this vinegar and oil.
It has to
and
have
stuff,
that
which it
structure. This is great.
is. Stop hogging all the napkins, man.
Not bad. If I stand up from a dinner, there's going to be balls of napkins under my, I'm sitting on them throughout the meal.
The next spot we're going to is quite literally next door.
It is.
Should we hit it up?
Let's go. Bari. Question, do you guys make your giardiniera?
Yes,
You do.
You do?
that's homemade. Beautiful.
Right here.
We make it here.
I love it. I love it.
It's you could tell it's got its own vibe going on.
Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it.
Hey, thank you guys.
Take care.
Stop 5, Bari, another Grand Avenue classic, right?
Yeah.
Right next to Tomatoes. When I say right next to, I mean like literally like what?
They share a wall.
They share a wall.
They share a wall.
Right,
they don't share bread.
That's a fact. We'll get into that in a second. Cheers, man.
Cheers, brother.
The meat is a little thicker on this compared to, say, Tomatoes next door, but the jarred is really spicy, which is good.
The jarred, I have to say, for a classic Italian, this is probably the most unique one I've tasted
Definitely,
today.
100%. And look at that, this is the giardiniera right there.
Yeah.
And so the distribution isn't like, I don't know, like top tier on this, but like, you know, these are big, robust olives, like almost whole olives in there.
There's a piece of artichoke right here.
There's straight chunks of artichoke, big, long, big peppers.
So we've had the same giardiniera at 2 places so far.
Yep.
This is a very unique giardiniera.
Yep.
It is not crunchy. Going back to like the architecture, the build of the sandwich, and the thicker cut, I was worried I was gonna be pulling all of that meat out of this sandwich.
Which is no good.
No bueno.
Yeah.
This is good, and this is a unique bread as well, I have to say.
Just to kind of recap, we got Bari, which has always kind of like been this like grocery and deli that makes sandwiches.
Yep.
And then Tomatoes, which is the bread place that decided to make sandwiches. Maybe they weren't too hyped about that in Bari. I mean, I asked the guy where he got his bread, if he got his bread from Tomatoes, and his face was pretty funny.
He didn't even answer the question. He shook his head.
But he did tell us where they got their bread from.
Yes, which honestly, that's the first time it's been disclosed to me. I've asked multiple times.
Regardless of beef, the sandwiches on Grand Avenue are elite, they're top tier, and that's a real piece of Chicago Italian-American history.
For sure, 100%.
Speaking of which, we're about to go to another neighborhood that is very, very, very Italian. Mush?
Let's do it.
All right. Italian Americans really have left their mark on the city. Something that I noticed that I'm kind of bummed about is that you go to a place like New York or in Philly even, and they got these like big, robust Little Italy's with these mom and pop businesses, these restaurants, this culture all around it. And here in Chicago, we have that, but it seems kind of weak. I don't want to like offend anyone, but you know what I mean? Like not as developed as some of these other cities. And Chicago's such a big city, I just don't get it. Why is that?
It's not a Little Italy that you can compare to New York or Boston or even a San Diego. We had that. Hence the name Little Italy. It was there. But there's a few things, couple factors like a university in the late 50s and 60s being built in the neighborhood. The whole medical district of Chicago's in our neighborhood as well. So that pushed a lot of Italians out.
All right, so I heard that basically Mayor Daley, being an Irish, Southside Irish guy back in the day, chose purposely to build the medical district and to build the university basically on top of Little Italy, almost to kind of push out the Italians in the neighborhood. He kind of placed these different institutions in this neighborhood, which kind of forced the neighborhood to spread out. And you know, you kind of have the diaspora of Italian Americans moved out in the suburbs, like so many other ethnicities in Chicago and in other cities and stuff too.
Two sides to every story. Being part of a family that grew up in Little Italy, there's a lot of neighborhood guys that definitely are going to be on the side where they think everything was intentional and deliberate, and he had a plan with what he did, and that could be the demise of Little Italy in the actual heart of Chicago. And it was, whether it was intentional or not, it did happen. There were some people that didn't see eye to eye with those decisions, and they chose to live elsewhere. It wasn't great for the Italians in the neighborhood, that's for sure. For the businesses, hardware stores, real estate companies, meat packing, you know, delis, things like that, they left. We have a whole melting pot in Little Italy now supporting a university and a medical district. And UIC, University of Illinois Chicago, is an expanding school, and that also has changed the shape of Taylor Street in Little Italy because you got to bring in the Papa John's. You know, chains have come into our street sadly, and they're taking over. But for us, I almost see that being better because it highlights us being one of the last standing places in Little Italy that's been around before any of these changes.
Hey man, well we still got the famous spots holding it down like yours in Pompeii and all those other ones you named. So happy that those still exist.
That's right.
You know, got to celebrate what we can.
That's it.
They got the Bed Bath & Beyond Giardinera oil.
Oh, that's Giardinera oil. Yeah. That's what I take a bath in.
That's what I wash my face. You exfoliate.
So they clearly make their own Giardinera.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah, they've been making this stuff for a while. But as Giardinera is blowing up more and more, you see more and more people putting it in a jar, actually. Like a lot of these guys were making Giardinera, but not selling it. Right. But now Giardinera is a hot commodity. Like people want to buy Giardinera, so.
Stop number 6, Fontano Subs.
Or Little Italy, the original.
The original. All in all, this is a classic spot. I mean, what did they say they opened up? Like, that was in
late 1920s, yeah. They had a grocery right across the street that's now Carm's, and then they're over here, the Fontano family. They're pillars of the Italian community here in Little Italy, and in Chicago they've been around as long as a lot of them have been, so definitely a staple. Love that Giardinera.
Ooh, just a little the lone Jard. Yep, let's check the window. That's it, you can see it right through it, baby.
That's the most jarred on a sub yet.
Oh yeah, and I appreciate that.
And they make the Giardinera themselves.
This is a classic homemade jarred situation. So uncut, we don't hate that.
No.
I think we're just gonna have to pass it. You know what, you're the guest on the channel, man. Why don't you go first?
Thank you.
The Giardinera is very pickly.
Very pickly.
Yeah. It's nice because it's like thick, but it's not super thick. Like clearly this isn't like jalapeno like we saw at Bari, right? No. It's still those shorter peppers, but the cut on them is a little larger. Look at that piece right there.
Larger cut. This is the softest bread we've eaten today. The first sandwich we've had that has no salami. This is just prosciutto, and gabagool.
Yeah.
Gabacola. And it's delicious.
Salami-less Italian sub.
Salami-less.
You don't really see that
sub.
often as we've seen today.
I think so far salami's been on every single sandwich we have eaten. The build is still nice. I mean, and you have like the taco style of the meat. You know what I mean?
The swirl, the coil.
Yeah.
We talked about that.
And that actually allows you to pack all of the flavor in the middle, wrapped around the meat and cheese. So you should get a structured bite.
And it's almost like a gusher of that vinegary veg in the middle.
Seriously.
Right? You know what I mean? I think to send this off, bro, I think we got to tramp it up.
That was the best bite I've ever had.
I know. I feel like we really bonded.
Dude, that was good.
Wow. Dude, I think that was the first Lady in the Tramp on the channel. Yes. We got one more classic spot to hit in the Little Italy neighborhood.
The last standing deli.
The last deli
in Little Italy.
That sounds like a novel or a dope movie.
Seriously.
Let's make it. I
and
think
the
we're
movie
making
probably
it right
includes a couple murders.
Yeah, maybe.
Come on, how many places can we go and get a chunk? Like, this is great. Look, you want to get a whole mortadella? Get a whole mortadella.
Stop 7, Conte Di Savoia.
You got it.
Yes.
In the heart of Little Italy.
This spot is one of your favorites, right?
Yeah, this is the sandwich spot that I grew up on.
Dude, the bread is so soft in my hand right now. Holy
I think the bread's getting softer as we go.
Yeah.
We started from
You're
crispy
right.
hard bread, now we're working our way to the softer bread.
Great bread.
The jar is good.
Yeah. Look at that whole olive on there. Okay.
And then another highlight, that's the brick cheese on here. This is the first sandwich we've had without provolone on it.
And it's kind of cool to see that crossover here in Little Italy with the Wisconsin, kind of the Midwest
It
Italian
is.
vibe.
And to be honest, that brick cheese, it's synonymous with Conte Di Savoia. Any antipasta tray that we had growing up had rolled up brick cheese. You always had to have it. And it is, I don't know, it makes the sandwich special. And that giardiniera is really crunchy.
I'm not getting a lot of the vinegar in this bite, in these bites. It's one of our driest sandwiches of the day.
There was not a huge Italian window. For those of you that didn't pick up on it, the Italian window is this wrapping going clear from all of the grease and the oil. This has a little window. The other ones, we had a foot-long window on some of them.
window, yeah.
Soft bread, juicy tomato, crunchy giardiniera.
Yeah.
Really quality meat. That brick cheese though,
Yeah.
right now
The
separates.
bread and the brick cheese is what sets the sandwich apart, in my opinion.
It's the most unique. It's different from all the other
Yeah, man.
classic Italian so far. I have to say.
100%. I almost damn near ate the whole thing.
You got a napkin?
Yeah, I do.
Bro,
Wedge
borrow
in
my
the hole.
napkins one more
I
time.
would, bro.
Hey, you're copying
I
for me,
would.
dude. This is me. Literally. Yeah.
Here, wedge
I
them up,
wet
wedge them up.
myself.
We're sitting in a pretty special place right now, right?
Yeah.
Where are we? We're in the
Piazza di Italia. So this is the Italian Piazza, Plaza de Little Italy. Right here in the center of Little Italy. This was the neighborhood that in the 19th century. The neighborhood where the Italians migrated to in the early 19th century. And at the time there were thousands of Italians in this neighborhood. Those numbers have definitely dwindled over the years. The Little Italy that you see now is not the Little Italy it used to be. The neighborhood has been consumed by the university. Whether you look at that in a good or bad way, Taylor Street really has become the main street for University of Illinois, Chicago. It's a melting pot, this street, from boba to Kong dog to
the Korean bakery right there that's doing French pastry.
Exactly.
And that's what you want in a college campus, honestly, because you don't want to eat the same thing every day, but it's just interesting that it is on top of what used to be this historically Italian-American neighborhood where people came off the boat, migrated to the Midwest, and started their lives. Was this spot right here. And, you know, we're honoring it by eating a sub in the neighborhood.
Yeah, one of the last standing Italian deli in Little Italy of Chicago. So to me, that's a very special place to go.
Tempesta with the bomb. Ooh, that's a nice, decent window there. Not quite as robust as the other one.
That's an exterior window.
Yeah. Ooh, is this double?
We're not even, oh no, that's just
no, single wrap, single wrap.
Wow.
Ooh, look at that bread right off the bat there.
A lot of lettuce.
Yep.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Wow. Andouille is what Tempesta is
Spreadable
really...
salami, essentially.
Exactly, and that is their claim to fame, as well as all the other meats that they are house roasting themselves or curing themselves, which is... This is probably, outside of Publican, the most unique sandwich we're eating today, hands
100%.
down.
It's really on this like more baguette-like bread. You can see that fermentation right there on the bread there.
Yep.
This is like a more classic French almost, like just from the feel of it.
For sure.
Way different. Really good, spicy. I like that.
The hot giardiniera on there is Caruso's giardiniera.
Oh, okay.
in the giardiniera world, I think they're hot. It should be a hot plus. And then you're getting extra heat with that andouille.
I was gonna say the andouille like matched together with that giardiniera on this bread, which is very, very like not really classic Italian sub.
Not at all.
Look at the color on this. I don't know which cut is this right here. This red.
The Coppa Picante.
That's the Coppa. So it is the spicy Coppa, which is different.
For
that adds
sure.
to the heat
It's
of it.
a hot Capicola.
Let's hit this one more time, man.
For how hard that bread is, the architects of this sandwich did a good job because it's not flying out everywhere.
It's got that addicting spice level to it.
Well, you gotta eat more.
It's tough with the baguette.
The baguette's too hard.
I like a sandwich like that, but it's not what I'm kind of wanting with an Italian sub.
I'm telling you, if you went there at 11 a.m.,
Softer.
way softer.
Okay.
Typically, I honestly, any sandwich shop, I won't eat at after 1 o'clock because their bread's probably stale.
But the thing about Tempesta here, these guys are like, they're salami men.
They're Calabrese,
Yeah.
they're from Calabria, and Calabrese are known for their supersata. And
Their chilies,
andouille,
their spiciness is coming out in everything we've been eating.
100%. They've gone fully wholesale with all of their meats, so their meats are all over the place. They are like a salumeria times 10. Like they have the mortadella, they're roasting their own turkeys. In our country, they're producing more andouille than anybody right now.
Wow.
Which is pretty wild.
This is, we ate a lot of sandwiches today. This is gonna be really tough.
I know.
Choosing which ones we enjoyed the most for the day.
Top 3. Third, we're going with Publican. Very unique, not the classic, but it's gonna sit on that list because it's a special sandwich. It's delicious, you should try it. Number 2, it's gonna be a tie here, so I guess it's a list of 4. Tomatoes and JP, they're the classic. They hit the nail on the head. The giardiniera, they got the bread, beautiful. Number 1, I'm gonna go with Conte Di Savoia. Hits home for me. Just a perfect classic sub. It was delicious. Giardiniera was great. That's it.
All right, so for me, the 3 slot has got to be Fontano's. The bread was perfect. It's got that thin coating of oil on it. The coil of the meat makes it architecturally probably the most sound that we ate today, which makes it the most satisfying. Classic, delicious. In the 2 slot, it's got to be PQM. That tapenade was just perfect. I'm a sucker for any sesame loaf, man. Their bread is just so good. It's different, it's unique, it's worth your time. The 1 slot, the gold medal, my favorite of the day, has probably got to be, really it's a tie between JP and D'Amato's because, well, D'Amato's makes the bread, JP makes the giardiniera. Together, match made in heaven, power couple. But at D'Amato's, they slice their meat oh so thinner, and I appreciate that, so it's gonna have to be my gold, man. But they're both so good. I mean, all these places are so good. There are plenty of other places that we could probably make this video triple the amount of places we went to.
For sure. Just in the city. And then when you get outside of the city, outside of the 312,
right.
I mean, there's some phenomenal places. But downtown Chicago, I think we have a very good list here. I think we rated it honestly. There's some really good sandwiches to be had. Yeah. You guys should go out and try
And
it.
really, you could probably do this crawl yourself. I mean, you know, a lot of these times we're driving all over the place. Here, I mean, we walk to, 4 in a row. You can walk to like 5 of these places, get in your car, drive 5 minutes, be at the other ones. But remember, we're also just 2 blokes with 2 opinions. Catch us on a different day, we might change our mind. So let us know in the comments what you like the most, or if we missed a spot, what's your favorite spot? You want to tell the good people what you're working on?
You guys should definitely come and check out Pompeii. We're not a sub shop, we do have sandwiches. We bake our bread, we make sausage sandwiches, meatball sandwiches, chicken parms.
Pizza. This guy's underplaying it. They've been open for a very long time. It is a classic staple in not just the Italian-American community, but in Chicago as a whole. So his
strudel, something similar to a sandwich. They're like a calzone or a stromboli. We make them. My grandpa created it. Strudel, because of the sweet savory thing. We've been doing our own with the savory for a while.
Try his food. Check him out on his socials. This guy's a beast. His family's amazing. So good day, man.
We Lady and Tramped a sub.
Dude, we did.
That was
first
sick.
Lady in the Tramp. First LMT on the channel. Well, you know the drill. If you like the video, give it a like. Ski sub to the channel if you're new to the channel. If you're not new to the channel, welcome back. Best way to support the chan is over on the Patreon, aka the grocery fund. Helps us buy all the subs, buy the gas, do all the things. But if you can't financially support, that's totally chill too. Come say what up on Discord. We're chilling, we're chatting, we're talking about Italiano stuff.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah. That's pretty much all we got. So until next time.
Ciao for
look
now.
at that. That's a new one. Bonus round, Italian American Lingo 101.
So you guys might be familiar with calamari. For us, it's galamari. You've heard of escarole, maybe? That's shkadal. If you've heard of giardiniera, that's giardiniera. Cavatelli, gavadils. Capicola, gabagool. Ricotta cheese, I said it like I do. Other people say ricotta cheese. It's ricotta.
Or regut, right?
Or ricotta.
Regut.
Focaccia, focaccia. There's a few more for sure. We'll save those for
Yeah,
later.
let that sink in. Oh, man.